First of all, congratulations on winning. You handled the interview stage very well, but a lot of personal information came out. How did you find that?
I was quite okay with it because I knew that it was going to come up. I knew about that before I applied for the show. That it's a discussion I'd have with Eileen, my fiance, and say, look, these things are going to come out. If it's by me, if it's by the programme, or it's by somebody else in the press, it will come out if I go in there. So I'm going to let the past dictate the future. And I decided no, that I was going to go with something I wanted so badly that I wasn't going to let that stop me. So I was quite comfortable with it. I knew he was going to ask it, and it was kind of a strategy of sit there for 45 minutes and let him beat it out of you, or be a bit upfront and personal and honest, and try and take control of some of the situation back.
Did you worry, though, that the answers could go against you?
I don't think so. For some reason, I knew that I could connect with Bill. He's a very warm character, and he's the type of person that I didn't think would hold anything like that against you. I mean, look, from the background he came from, he would have seen a lot of that along the way, and I didn't think he'd hold it against me at all. Obviously there was the only concerns I had was how were about my family and friends and people that didn't know.
What is your favourite moment from the show?
Oh, there's so many because I had the full experience of it. Many Breffney moments.
Man's a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, and he was real entertainment for everybody in there, and he kept me going. Task 1 and 2, he was so intense, and I remember driving out on the Samsung task and chatting to him for about an hour in the van on the way over, saying, Breffney, just be yourself, calm down, take it out. And he was, and he really came to his own. Loved the Big Red Book task when he led the team to victory, and he did a great job, and he really brought the character. The strimmer at the time when he had no cord, I could hear that from inside the house, and I was watching out the window, and he had 2 camera crews around him, and he was giving a commentary on how great he was doing it. And I was like, he's got no cord on it. You can hear it because you can hear the and I was thinking, oh Jesus, I'll go out and stitch this up on him. But that was great. A quirky moment which I loved in the boardroom was sort of the funny moment that wasn't Breffney was Lucinda when we all spelt liqueur wrong. And Bill went to me first, and I said L-I-Q-U-E-R, and Stephen said the same. And you could tell from Bill's reaction that neither of us got it right. So when it came to Lucinda, I think she went L-I-Q-K-U-R, like just throwing in a random letter. I thought that was quirky. It was funny.
Who did you get on best with?
I got on with most people in there, but I get on best with the Final Four, and Breffney in the Final Four, because I got to know the people that were in the Final Four, like Geraldine, Lucinda and Stephen, the best out of all of them, because we spent most time with them and went through the experiences with them, so we're all quite close now.
Were you shocked when Lucinda went before you?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was a massive shock to me. Because, Bill said at the very, very beginning when he was giving the sort of criteria that he was looking for, the last thing he said was, don't try and second guess me. So like everyone kind of went with that, and I kind of took that strategy of not trying to second guess him, otherwise it would drive you up the walls. But because it was only the second series, everyone's thinking, well, Brenda last year, she won how many? She never went to the boardroom until the interview stage, and she won her way through it. That was very, very rare that happens. But everyone was trying to look in at, if you win that amount of tasks, that sets you out as a favourite. So everyone had professed Lucinda to be a favourite, me included, and I was adamant that if we'd lost that task, we were going into the boardroom. Lucinda was there for the first time, free ticket to the next round. That's it. But as it turned out, it wasn't that way, and I was incredibly shocked and never had any confidence getting out. And even on the day of filming, they brought everything forward. Like the pre-boardroom interviews were done quicker because everyone was in a rush. It needed to get done quickly. Lunch was brought forward in an hour, and I was thinking, they know I'm driving back to Skibbereen, and they're being nice to me now.
Are yourself and your family looking forward to the move to Dublin?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's a massive change, but a worthwhile change, and we're doing it in 2 phases. I'll be going up starting on the 4th of January, getting my feet under the table, and the rest of the family will then move up in the second move in the summer.
How did you cope without your family, though?
I did all right. There's so much going on around you. There's such a rapidly changing environment that we were in, with so much going on that I could lose myself in it. But it was a struggle, certainly when things weren't going my way. After the media task, things went disastrously wrong, and you really then need your family more than anything in the world. So it was hard to be away. But Eileen was the one really that found it the hardest, because everything else was going on around her. Plus, she was living a lie, telling everybody I was up in Dublin working, and Olin, my stepson, didn't know where I was. I had to say I was up in Dublin working, and and then he couldn't understand why I was only phoning once a week, and why it was only for 10 minutes. God knows what he thought I was really doing up there. So it was tough for her being down there more than it was for me. At the end of the day, there was a hot tub in the house, there was a pool table, we were off on helicopters on prizes. Brilliant.
What was going through your head when Bill turned to you and said, "You're hired"?
Oh, I think there was a general consensus between me and Stephen. Oh, please just put us out of our misery. I think when he, in the boardroom, he says, "No, go outside and think about trying and influence my decision." Oh, that's just cruel. Come on, tell us. And so it was just the anticipation of it. Really, I don't think either of us gave much thought to think like we've got it, like it's in the bag or whatever. Stephen must have been confident going in there because, I'll admit there that he perhaps won the last task. So I don't know, and I never tried to second guess him. So it was amazing when he pointed the finger at me, but a relief that it was all over as well.
What do you plan to achieve now from your new job with Bill?
Well, I've set the bar very high as far as sales are concerned, so I've got a lot to live up to. But I also said to Stephen halfway through the whole thing, I think it was week 6, I said, you know what? If one of us get this job, it will be the easiest job to step into, because you'll have no fear that he doesn't know what you like or can you do the job. I mean, the amount of people that have been hired sort of and been given the wrong positions because they just pulled off a good interview is shocking. So, but at least here you see the good, the bad, the ugly. And I was in the boardroom more times than anyone. So he had 6 opportunities to fire me, and he never fired me. So he's seen all aspects of me as a character and my personality and my skill sets. I'll feel confident that he knows me well enough, and that'll give me the confidence to go on and perform well for him.
Where would you like to see yourself, say, in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, well, I mentioned at the boardroom, it didn't make an effort, it didn't make the edit, but I would see this move with Bill as a 5-year plan. Whether it works out like that, only time will tell. But this is just the interview process. This is the beginning now for the job starts 4th of January, and I've got to impress him over 12 months in order to keep this going. And hopefully I'll do that. The projects we're talking about starting are long-term projects, and I want to be involved with them from start to finish.